Hi ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Design and Techco. This is your host Akhil, and today we're looking at 11 steps that can help you increase or improve your tech product development process. So the first step is documentation, which basically means that you have to write every single thing down. In the sense, like let's say you think you want to build the next Facebook, a social media application. Then you would have to write down every single thing, every single feature that the social media application is going to have. Some things might look very intuitive, like the follow button or the like button or the chat, but these things didn't exist when Facebook was actually being formed or being developed. So let's assume you want to build Facebook. You'll have to write all of these features down. For example, there's a profile, there's a timeline, there's chat, and there's there's like and follow and all these different things, and even groups. So that's documentation. So this kind of is the blueprint or the foundation of how your tech development is going to happen, and everything is going to happen from this main mother document. So you have to pay a lot of focus, a lot of details have to be given. Basically, a lot of attention has to be given to this document, and you have to get everything right. And this is also the step which a lot of companies they don't pay a lot of attention to, and this leads to many problems in the future. So get the documentation right. And now the next step is brainstorming. So once you have the documentation, once all the features are there, now you have to brainstorm on how you can make all these features even better or even more intuitive for the customer or the client or the user who's going to come to your website or your mobile app, or it could be any other thing actually. And so you have to think with your team. There could be a designer on board, there could be a developer, there could be a salesperson, a product manager, the CEO of the company, for example. Everybody comes into the room together, and they think and they brainstorm ideas on how all the features can be made even better, or how you could introduce even more features now. And then you can then you have to translate all of that back into documentation. The third step is mood boarding. So once you have all of the steps in place, now you start looking at references of, like, let's say if you were building an e-commerce platform, then you would look at Amazon and Etsy and Qtrove and Flipkart and all these different websites to get an idea of what all these websites have and the look and feel of all these websites basically. So that would be mood boarding, so that you're able to refine your idea even better. Now the fourth step is making user flows and decision charts. In the sense, whenever a user lands to your website or mobile app, where does he go, what all pages does he follow, and how does he take particular actions. So you need to make decision charts, you need to make user flows, and this is a very important step. And now let's look at the next step, which is making rough sketches or wireframes, or some people call it low fidelity screen design, or some people even call it UX design, user experience. So this basically entails identifying or determining what exact information goes on each page, how many pages are there in total, and these are very rough sketches or diagrams of what is going to be there on the pages. Now the next step is high fidelity screens, which is the UI design, where you solidify the look and feel of the entire application or the website, and then it's all completely based on all the steps that you've done, as in the documentation, the brainstorming, mood boarding, the user flows and UX. It's all based on that, and then you just start putting a template or the design look and feel template on top of the UX screens. That's your UI step. The next step is prototyping. In the sense, you can link all of these designs together into a prototype, and many different services like Figma, Adobe XD, and InVision, all of these applications, they provide you a feature wherein you can build a prototype with all these designs, and you can, for example, you click on a button, where do you reach, when you go to a different page, how do you reach. Everything is kind of linked together, and it almost looks like a live website. The only difference is there's no coding that has been done till now. The next step is MVP development. So let's say the complete concept of the application or website is ready, but you don't necessarily want to develop everything, because there could be multiple challenges that you would face on the road, and it's always good practice to just make an MVP or a minimum viable product in the beginning, so that you're able to understand will the user be able to interact with it properly, or will the user even understand some of the things that are there before you actually commit 100% to it. It's better to make an MVP and then test the market with it, and then test the functionality with it if it's working properly. The next step is the beta release. In the sense, once the MVP has been developed and it has been refined a little bit, you release the beta version and start getting your friends and family, your co-workers and other people in the industry, or the target audience in a focus group, and then they start using it, they start breaking it down, and then they tell you these are the challenges with the application. You can also have some people who across the world to sign up as beta users, and they can also help you with the refining process. Now after this, after the beta release has been done, you can start proper testing and stress test, A/B testing and quality control, quality checking. All of these things can start wherein you are preparing your application for the final release, and then the last step is final release and deployment, and then you start it, open the gates to the world, and then you start running ads, you start getting people to your website or your mobile application or whatever, and that's the final release. And then again it enters into another phase of documentation and brainstorming. The whole circle repeats completely again, and then that's how basically product development happens. And these are the steps. If you follow this process properly, you will get predictable outcomes in your tech development process. I hope this video was very informative, and head over to our website designandtech.co for more such opinions and more articles and information on the tech development process. And if you're starting to look for a team that would help you develop your product, then I'm the CEO of a company called Merletech. You can head over to our website www.merl.tech, and you can hire us if you're in the market for this kind of requirement. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to our video if you subscribe to our channel if you want more such informational videos, and thank you and see you next time.